They say you never know how good your insurance is until you need it. Well, we're about to find out. April 15th at 7:15 p.m., just about 10 minutes after I got my new tractor. A pretty big storm rolled through here and did a lot of damage. Now, before I show you all the damage, I'd like to know if you could leave a comment down below. Have you ever had to file an insurance claim? And when you did they take care of you, or did you have to fight them all the way? The house, the garage, the pole building, and the tractor shed out back all took some roof damage. But in addition to that, the J-channel and fascia on the south and west sides of our house, garage, pole building, and tractor shed also got destroyed, along with shredded screens, demolished roof vents, mushroom vents. I don't know what they're actually called. I call them mushroom vents on the porch that look like someone beat them with a hammer. Gutter damage, vinyl siding damage, enclosed trailer damage, metal roof damage, shingle roof damage, drip edge damage, all kinds of damage from a relatively short hailstorm that came through our area. Everything facing south and west took the brunt of the hardest forces of the wind and the hail, but the north and east sides had some damage also. And our estimates range between about $55,000 and over $100,000 in damage. We pay over $10,000 a year for insurance between our vehicles, our equipment, our homeowners insurance, our boat insurance, camper insurance. All of that stuff adds up to over $10,000 a year. But the question is it actually good insurance? Well, some good news is that about 30 miles away from us, we had the reports that a bad storm was coming with some big hail. I had just enough time to get most everything under cover. So the big red truck was in the garage, the Lightning was in the garage, all vehicles were in the garage, the tractors were all put away. My equipment, what I could fit inside. The only thing that was left out was our 6x12 enclosed trailer, and I parked it really close to the garage. The wind and the storm were coming from the west, so I thought, let's park the trailer really close to the garage here. There's about 2 to 3 feet in between the trailer and the garage. At least that'll help protect from the storm that's coming. Well, as you can see, it did not. There's dents all along the front edge here and along this side of the trailer, which means the hail somehow got between the roof and the wall of the garage to hit this side of the trailer. The insurance adjuster was here last week. They climbed up on ladders, they walked around on roofs, they took a lot of pictures, and we're just waiting on the numbers now to see what all they cover. In future videos, I'll talk to you about what insurance company we have and what they are going to cover. I do know right off the bat, they said definitely all 4 roofs will be covered. The question is, how much? And how much will the cost be for the roof to be replaced? Will the insurance cover all that cost? We're about to find out, and once again, we'll find out if we have good insurance or not. We have full replacement coverage as our coverage, which means that it should cover the cost to replace the pieces that are damaged. But when you've got a house like ours, we've got vinyl siding that is now about 25 years old. It started out as desert tan, now it looks like more of a cream. So if we get replacement pieces of siding and have to fit those into the west wall of the house, obviously it's going to look like piecemeal correction or piecemeal repair. So hopefully the entire side is covered. The several pieces of the siding were chipped and broken, a lot of J-channel broken. Actually, the window trim was broken, not just the J-channel around the window trim, but the actual window trim was broken. So it's really good to know that at least the roof will be replaced, but there's a lot of other damage that needs to be replaced. And I'm glad I learned some lessons through this process. Let's talk about some of the things I've learned after a storm like this. And what I can help others with maybe if you're going through something similar right now. Lesson number 1 is documentation. I took a lot of drone footage after the storm. All the roofs, all the sides of the buildings, I got 4K drone footage. Now, thankfully, because I'm a YouTube content creator, I had footage from other things prior to the storm to compare to. My question is to you, how often do you document your property and your buildings? Take pictures, take inventory, any damage, anything like that? Do you do it before something happens or only afterwards? Because it helped me out a lot to have before and after video, for example, of our house roof and of the garage roof and of the shed out back. I did a video of some tree trimming and I had drone footage that showed the shed roof before there was damage and now the shed roof after there's damage. Lesson number 2 has to do with storm chasers. We've had a lot of trucks in and out of our driveway, a lot of people from out of state, a lot of people not from this area who are experts in storm damage repair. And maybe they are, but I can tell you I was shocked how many vehicles came in here with contractors from out of town who are here ready and able to replace roofs, fix siding, repair windows, and meet with the insurance adjuster because they assure you they can get you more money than you can get yourself. We even learned, and I hadn't known about this before, about public adjusters. Leave a comment down below if you have ever used a public adjuster and what your experience was. I understand they take a percentage of your money, somewhere between 10 and 20% of your insurance settlement money. So to me, that's money that doesn't get to go towards the repairs, but I would be anxious to know from your comments down below, if you've used one, have you found that it does get you more money to make sure that more of the damage is covered? So leave those comments down below. Have you ever worked with the storm chasers and the public adjusters? Because I do know that the local contractors around here are going to be super busy. They may be booking repairs a year or 2 out because of all the damage in this area. The construction companies from out of town that travel around chasing the storms, they've got crews ready, willing, and able to get roofs repaired and replaced within a month. So leave those comments. What do you think about the contractors from out of town and using them to do repairs on a house or a building or something like the property we have here? This trailer was not covered under our homeowners insurance. Now, I thought it was. I assumed it was. I was wrong. I now have this trailer covered, and it costs about $27 a year. But before the storm, I did not. I assumed that this would be covered because it was sitting here at my house as part of my homeowner's policy. Lesson learned. Leave a comment down below if you've learned a lesson like that from an experience you've had. Lesson number 5, should you have backup with you? Now, when the adjuster came out, I met with that person. We went all around the property. I had a really well-documented list of damage. It helped that I had already had contractors here to point out some of the damage that I hadn't seen with my own 2 eyes. So that was super helpful. But I also had several contractors who really wanted to be here when the adjuster was here so they could point out to her some things they noticed. For example, some of the contractors mentioned to me that when the insurance replaces something like the drip edge, a very common damaged item in a roof repair, they might just put the standard drip edge on. But they noted that on our house, we have the large drip edge or the extended length drip edge. I didn't even know there was such a thing. Turns out our drip edge is special. So leave a comment down below. How do you feel about having contractors here or a lawyer here or a public adjuster here when your insurance adjuster comes to review things on your property? Is it a good idea? Is it a bad idea? Let me know your thoughts down below. On our house and on our garage, we have siding damage on the west side and the south side. Now, on the garage here, we've got several pieces. If we point up here towards the peak, several pieces that are chipped. Right above my head, there's a piece of J-channel that's chipped right above the garage door. Now, I know because the insurance adjuster already told me they're gonna redo the entire front side of the garage, replace all this siding. That's great, it's all gonna match itself. But it's not gonna match the side of the garage facing the woods or the side of the garage facing the house. Same thing with our house. I already know they're gonna replace the siding on the dormers. And that is great because that siding did get damaged. There's several chipped pieces up there. But does that mean the dormer is gonna look different than the rest of the front and the side of the house? Leave your comments down below about vinyl siding, your thoughts on replacing pieces, replacing elevations, and what's the best way to make things look like they're not hodgepodge lodge. Now, our insurance coverage is a little bit tricky because it is replacement value, but it's also replacement of damaged pieces. So in theory, they could have only replaced the few damaged pieces on the front of the garage. That would have looked ridiculous. Leave those comments down below if you've had that experience where only some of the pieces of a full elevation of a building have been replaced. Our 40 by 60 building has metal roof and a lot of it, and it's getting all replaced, so that's good news. Our garage and house roof are also getting replaced. They have shingle roof. Both the garage and the original section of the house have 3-tab shingles. Now the insurance will pay, and again, we haven't seen the estimate, so we don't know exactly how much, but they will pay to have that replaced with architectural shingles because that's more in line with today's shingle type. The back side of the house where the addition is actually already has architectural shingles, so it'll get replaced with the same kind that already has on it. But we do have the option because right now metal roof is about the same price, or in some cases a little cheaper, in some cases a little bit more expensive. If we wanted to add a little bit more money, we could replace the shingle roof on our house with a metal roof. And the same with the garage, we could replace the garage shingle roof with a metal roof. Let me know in the comments down below, what are your feelings on metal roof versus shingle roof? I just turned 49 years old. I want to have something that's hopefully going to last me 40 years. I'd be 89 years old, hopefully, when this would need done again. So leave those comments down below, which looks better and which stands up better, metal roof or shingle roof. If this was your house, what would you do? We are soon going to find out exactly what the $10,000 of insurance we've been paying for every year is worth. And I'll let you know in future videos how it turns out. But definitely leave those comments down below, because once we receive that assessment, I would like to know how to respond. Is the number just the number? Is there some negotiating or debating? Do you bring an expert in for some legal advice? Do you let a contractor give you the bid and then go with that bid to the insurance company and say, look, I've already had this all priced out. What you're offering won't cover it. What's the best next step depending on what that amount is? And what have your experiences been? If you are an insurance person and you have expertise in that area, or you're a public adjuster, or you're a lawyer, let me know in the comments down below what advice you can share and what tips you can give, not only to me, but to other people watching this video in the future. If you found this video informative and entertaining, please give us a big thumbs up. Leave those comments down below. They will really help us out in the next several weeks. And then if you aren't already, please hit that subscribe button. We've got lots of rural living content that we'll be putting out in the future and we've made in the past. It's not typically about insurance, but this just happens to be the point we are at right now, figuring out what to do after this hailstorm came through and did a lot of damage in our area. Thanks for watching. Hopefully we'll see you again the next time.